Let's take a look at how we do conversions. So the quantity that we are given here is a time interval of 16 minutes. So we always start our conversion work using a symbol. So in this case, we have a time value. So our symbol will be delta t, time interval. We write the original quantity, including its units. So 16 minutes. Now we want to multiply this quantity by the conversion ratio. What's always special about our conversion ratios is that the ratio itself is always equal to 1. So when we take a quantity and we multiply it by 1, it doesn't change the actual amount of time. All it changes is the unit that's being used to describe that amount. So let's think about how to set up our conversion ratio. The thinking process is always like this. The unit that we want to get rid of is minutes. And the conversion ratio will accomplish that when the old unit that we want to get rid of divides away. So right now minutes is in the numerator of a fraction. You can imagine that this was just another fraction like that over 1. So we want to have minutes in the denominator of our conversion ratio. So I'll put 1. So this is in the numerator, this is in the denominator. So this divided by this will give us 1. Now let's complete the conversion ratio. The new units that we want are seconds. So the question is, how many seconds are there in 1 minute of time? Okay, no problem. 60
seconds.
So now the old units have divided away, and we're ready to do the arithmetic. So in our calculator, we'll do 16. There's a multiplication here, so 16 times 60 divided by 1. Do we need to do the divide by 1? No. So we have 16 times 60. That gives us this value here. So 960. And the units that we're left with are seconds. We just use the lowercase s for the symbol of that unit. So 960 seconds. We do a check of our significant digits here. So this is a calculation step, and so we can write this with 4 significant digits. So we have no problem here because we don't have any extra digits to take care of. So this is how we do a conversion ratio. The conversion ratio is always equal to 1. The top equals the bottom. And the units that we want to get rid of always divide out. And that's how we choose to put minutes on the bottom. Let's do one more example. A very common conversion that we will be doing in grade 11 physics is converting units of kilometers per hour, a very common unit for speed, to our scientific unit for speed, which is meters per second. There's 2 units that we want to get rid of. We want to change kilometers to meters. We want to change hours to seconds. This means we're going to use 2 conversion ratios. Let's set up the first one. We want to eliminate kilometers, so that tells us that kilometers will have to go in the denominator of this conversion ratio. That way, this divides out with that. The new unit that we want is meters. How many meters are there in 1 kilometer? 1,000. Now we go to our next conversion ratio. We want to eliminate the unit of hours and replace it with seconds. Here's the trick. In the original quantity, hours is in the denominator of a fraction. So in order for the hours to divide away, we have to put it in the numerator of our conversion ratio. So that divides with that, giving us 1. Let's complete this conversion ratio. 1 hour, we want changed into seconds. How many seconds are there in 1 hour? 60 times 60 is 3,600. And let's take a look. The units that we're left with are meters divided by seconds. That's our goal. Now in our calculator, we'll put 105 times 1,000 divided by 3,600. So here's our calculated result. And let's say this was the beginning of a problem that we were trying to solve. So this would be a calculation step that we want to record, which we record using 4 significant digits. It's only in a final statement that we'll write with 3. So our 4 significant digits, so we have the 2, the 9, the 1, and the 6. And we're cutting off the rest. So in our calculation steps, we don't worry about rounding. So we'll write our final answer here, 29.16. The rest of the digits are cut off, and the units that we're left with, meters divided by seconds. And so now we've converted kilometers per hour to meters per second. So just a few things to keep in mind. If there's 2 units that we have to convert, you'll need 2 conversion ratios. Always remember to set up the conversion ratios so that the old units will divide away. Kilometers divides with kilometers. That's why we put kilometers in the denominator of this ratio. Hours divides with hours. That's why we put hours in the numerator of this ratio. If you remember that trick, you will always be able to set up your ratios correctly.